Do you think Israel will launch a ground invasion of Gaza? Basically the title. Do you think Israel will launch a ground invasion of Gaza? It seems the US would rather Israel not, while not explicitly saying not to. While Israel seems quite set to go in. I'm not sure what the alternatives being considered are. But it would come at a big cost to Gaza civilians and the Israeli military. Just interested to hear any viewpoints. Biden had to leave Israel and the ME first. And now has to make his speech. Israel isn't going to make a major move until both of the above have concluded. Well, they said they will destroy Hamas completely, and to do that they have to launch a ground invasion. They're going to have to go house to house like Fallujah. Yes. The question you should be asking is, what will Iran proxies do once the invasion of Gaza happens? Maybe? I have a feeling Israel, the US, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Qatar, Lebanon, none of them want a war right now. And that's probably why the Israelis haven't gone in yet. Lots of background negotiating to keep a lid on this before it gets out of hand. Working against them are China and Russia, who absolutely want American attention focused on the Middle East instead of the Pacific or Europe. Definitely yes. Israel has already declared war, calling up 300,000 reservists, and has been amassing tanks and troops near the border. Israel will have to enter into Gaza to rescue the hostages and destroy Hamas. Yes. Speaking as an Israeli, it seems that 1. The drafting, last-minute training and positioning of ground troops suggest as much. 2. Forsaking the ground invasion would be political suicide for the politicians in charge. 3. There is rare acceptance in the Israeli public that it is necessary, even though IDF casualties would be massive. 4. For the time being, Israel has approval from the US and EU for striking Hamas forcefully. Public relations nightmare has entered the chat. I mean, there are still hostages in Gaza. They need to rescued. There are like 12 Americans alone held hostage. The last time Israel traded a single soldiers was for 1,000 prisoners. So how many prisoners would needed to be traded for 12 Americans alone? Let alone all the other hostages that might not even be alive anyways. I believe they got cold feet and might not do it. Even their own spokesman recently said it might not happen. I have a bad feeling that this get others involved and spark something bigger. Israel also must realize this. They are trying to drag US with them, but without them. Not sure they should try it. Too much tension over this worldwide. Too dangerous. Israel risks having world opinion turn on them due to further civilian casualties and a mounting refugee crisis. In my opinion, America doesn't want to support a second war or risk further Middle East instability. Yes, but it's basically going to be their Afghanistan. I think so. It will be a long drawn-out war. I do see Israel, under the advice of outside influence, not going in as hard as it may have been initially thought. They will precisely dismantle Hamas over decades. This will be tough on the Palestinians. But it's much better than the other option. It will take a lot of intelligence gathering. I guess the biggest issue is Iranian-backed terrorist organizations. I really thought Iran would keep focused on their mission of becoming the next nuclear state. If they start messing around with Israel now, they lose sight of their ultimate, yet delusional endgame. They don't take that many reservists out of the economy to sit around and twiddle thumbs. Israel is getting the USA in there. Serious consequences, and at the same time Jewish people around the world are getting in serious trouble where they are. Traveling for US citizens around other countries could be trouble. My thoughts. I am surprised they haven't already. It feels like it's a when and not an if. When I consider the Israeli position, all I can think is, if they back down now, how does Bibi his government sell this to the people? Another several decades of rockets, kidnappings, and bombings so that a foreign president can sell a regional peace pseudo-solution for an upcoming election? Israeli reservists have been gradually released. Looks like it's on hold for now. It's definitely not ideal ground invasion. No. A ground invasion is basically just doing what Hamas wants and will weaken Israel's position in ME. There will be some kind of special military operation, and once enough Palestinians have been killed, things will go back to what they were. The ground invasions will just be to reinforce the wall and starve the people again. I doubt aid will even reach the civilians, as both sides are nuts. Last time a big conflict happened, Israel actually bulldozed the Sign of David into the mountain side where people could see it for miles from Gaza. When I consider the Israeli position, all I can think is, if they back down now, how does Bibi his government sell this to the people? Another several decades of rockets, kidnappings, and bombings so that a foreign president can sell a regional peace pseudo-solution for an upcoming election? 100 sure. One main reason is that they will grab lands. Bibi certainly will grab land from Gaza. Not until they've sufficiently churned the dirt, corpses, and rubble with missiles. Their commandos are very expensive, you see, so their brave soldiers dying in battle will not do. IDK the situation can get very insane with ground invasion. I feel like people underestimate the religious factor and think the Middle East is atheist. I have never seen the Arabic world united like this. Even Shia and Sunni forces are united to attack Israel. It can get very ugly with jihad call across the region. We have our propaganda just like the West and most people in Middle East consider Israel to be the aggressor despite the fact that Hamas attacked first. Lol. They are still providing Hamas the opportunity to save the Palestinian people for the worst and release the hostages. I'm sure Hamas has the best thoughts in mind to protect the people that voted by the majority of them. Gaza is already occupied territory, and Israel have said over and over that they intend to steal more territory from Gaza. I think they will annex Palestine. Yes. This speech points to it. Go ahead. We are watching your back. Definitely the right move. I'm sure the surviving lateral damages will be more interested in negotiating the two-states solution mentioned after this. Yes. But not as wide-ranging as they would like. Because otherwise even the two U.S. warships will not be able to prevent Iran, or at least Hezbollah, from intervening. Egyptian military pouring sarin fog gas in Gaza tunnels. To tell you honestly, Israelis would not cease to chance to take control of Gaza once again and destroy Hamas for good. Honestly, it sounds like Western leaders weren't that confident in the plan. Also, Hezbollah is likely waiting for the invasion to start before they launch an offensive. I'd like to think the hostages could be returned in some kind of deal in the meantime, but I don't have a lot of faith in Bibi's diplomacy either. So my answer is yes. But I think it may be a quagmire, and it's possible Israel may withdraw relatively quickly. Airstrikes, artillery, and targeted assassinations are likely to be more effective in the short term in decreasing Hamas' capacity. I hope not. So Bibi actually wrote about the prospect of invading and occupying the Gaza in his book when he was out of office, and he said he would not do it. With that said, I do believe they will go after the leaders of Hamas in Qatar, etc. They're apparently set to do it tomorrow. They will level most of Palestine. They will leave a few buildings standing, but most will be destroyed.